I'm John.
And I'm also John.
And we're going to talk about stuff.
So how has your week been, man? We're going to go and talk about some of how...
What's going on here?
This is awkward.
Go away, Duty.
His name's not even John.
Well,
Go away.
That's your son.
yeah,
Don't tell me to go. This is my show.
was your show.
What? Why? I know we disagree, but
Creative differences.
what? T? What?
I'm John,
I'm also John.
and we're going to talk about us.
Okay.
All right, well.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, what's going on? Oh, now I'm the guy knocking on the pop. Jeez. I'm sorry.
Show's ruined, guys.
Show's ruined. Oh,
Show's ruined.
Oh,
Show's ruined. Look at that. Oh,
all good?
knocking over.
All good?
What's up, man? How you been?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Good. I'm good.
Good.
You talked about doing an Origins episode,
Origins episode.
getting people to know us. 'Cause
Oh, yeah, it was my idea, wasn't it?
I think so. That's kind of what we talked about.
Yeah, I thought
Way
so,
to
too.
Kill that origin.
Yep. I thought, hey, we should talk about how we were originated. So, thanks. That was my idea, you know?
How else am I supposed to set it up? Like tee it up because you were like, oh, like how are we supposed
No,
to?
it was like you could have done it a different way after what we...
How could I have done it? Okay, boom. From the start of that bumper. No, we're not going to do the bumper again. We're not going to do the start of it. Okay, just go from.
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. What's going on with you?
So you had this idea about our origins.
I did. I said, oh, hey, let's go ahead and let everyone get to know us, and we'll get to know each other better.
So let's start with getting to know you then, man.
Okay, cool.
So you can start by introducing yourself. What's your name?
My name's John.
Okay.
I like that. There you go.
So John, I noticed you have a beautiful Affliction shirt on.
Ooh, buddy.
So I had to. I don't even know why I started it off with an insult.
Wow.
I really want to know.
We're
Let's talk
friends.
about dancing
like,
more
that's
Muay
the
Thai.
thing that's crazy. Is we're friends.
That's the problem. Is we're friends. I'm sorry, I'm friends.
It's not John and John hate each other. It's John and John talk stuff because
No,
we like
all
each
right.
other.
I'm just talking stuff. That's the problem.
you?
Is
Okay.
But
This is an amazing shirt, Dancing Bear.
Dancing Bear Muay Thai.
Yeah.
So I would kind of like to kick off there because it's an easy starting point. When did you start doing Muay Thai, man?
I got into martial arts when I was growing up. Nowadays there's like a lot of fat kids in class. Like I was the fat kid. I was the unicorn.
Right.
So like the fat jokes were towards me. So it was like I started getting into like Taekwondo, and I wish that there had been more options out there in the martial arts world at that time, but it was a lot of karate, Taekwondo,
Absolutely.
Kung Fu, a lot of weird striking arts, but it never really fit me because I was a big person, and that's a fast sport, and I never caught on to the fast sport. So then I basically didn't really work out. I think the heaviest I ever got was like 315.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and that like a baby elephant is 250 pounds. So I'm not. Hey, everyone's journey's their own, man. But I was just like, I outweigh a baby elephant,
Right.
and that's the largest land mammal out
Touche,
there.
yeah.
You know what I
When you
mean?
put it in perspective like
the
that, I'm
longer
like,
you think about it, the more it makes you want to eat, actually. But so I started working out. Slow. It was awful. My knees hurt. I went to the doctor, and they said
right.
swim. But who has time to swim? Like to find a pool with.
Who knows how to swim?
Who wants to swim? It's cold. Like you give me a heated pool, I'll swim all day.
Right.
But so I went through it, got down to about 250. So I
Wait.
was
So
like,
what were you doing then? If you weren't swimming, I mean, what was
Oh,
the
I
exercise you were-
elliptical. I was doing some
Okay.
weights. I kind of felt like weights wouldn't get me where I wanted to go. I had
traditional
to do,
commercial gym usage then?
yeah,
kinda?
yeah.
Okay.
Like at work, they had it so like I'd go down for my lunch.
That's cool.
And an understanding of eating, not like it was when I went into this program it's called Naturally Slim, and they broke it down into different things like, hey,
Right.
these are the things, this is how you should, this is a way to eat, not how you should, but it worked for me. So once I changed that, I started like actually having leftovers. I didn't feel like I had to eat everything all at once, which was,
Right.
I mean,
Oh,
like
man.
actually taking home stuff was really weird to me because it's
Right.
like I have to eat everything there. Our portion size is so out of control in the United
yeah.
States. That's a whole another topic. But so then I started actually going to a more of a strong man, but like bodybuilding gym. So it was a lot of
Right.
heavier weights, but a lot of people that knew stuff, like a lot of those. So I then also met like one of my best friends, my friend Jake Pursley, who's like one of the smartest guys I know. He has like a PhD in physics.
Oh, wow.
So if you think you know shit, you don't know shit.
Right.
Because, you know, like he's like, well, really, there's a paper. And then there's a paper about whatever this, you know, like, oh man, what about black holes? And then he can break down what a black hole is. It's
And then you're
crazy.
amazed because someone had to know that to write that paper that he's utilizing to reference.
Someone,
and then,
oh dude, remind me to tell you about the sensitivity training they had at his. It's hilarious. It's off this topic, but I'll
Right,
tell you,
right.
it's the best story ever. So I started. He had a wrestling shirt on. I was like, oh, he's a big dude. He looks like a wrestler, like real wrestling. And then the next day he had a jujitsu, like.
Oh, no,
You know what I mean?
It's okay. No,
You
just
know,
skate
no,
over
it's
that.
cool. It's cool. Like collegiate, like amateur wrestling.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
You know,
they are amateurs.
You know, okay, it's true. Not professional.
No, right. It's not professional.
Oh, you can see them. Oh, so so then he came in with a jiu-jitsu shirt on, and I was like, wow. And I wasn't really talking to him because not everyone really talked to each other in those gyms. You know what I mean? Like you're working out and you don't, like you feel everyone's watching you in the gym.
Right.
So
I love that feeling.
You know what I mean? But I was big and I was losing weight to just be strong. So then he came in with a judo shirt, and I was like, dude, do you do like all three of those? Because I was watching the UFC, and one thing that kind of got me into working out was I was watching the UFC. And I'm like an idiot before I knew anything about it or everything. I made a comment like, that doesn't look like it hurt or something like that. And a guy who knew what he was doing
Right.
at another table looked at me like, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't talk about stuff I don't know. Like,
Right.
if I'm not in it, I shouldn't know. So he started talking. He goes, hey, try out a class. So I ended up being kind of stuck in two worlds. Like, do I go strongman because I'm a big guy, and I'm not the tallest, so I can get some of the heavier lifts.
Absolutely.
The deadlifts, like deadlifts, are my favorite, just a straight lift. Or I go martial arts, and I was like, I think what might help me in the long term is martial arts.
That's smart thinking, right?
Since my joints are already kind of beat up from being so heavy.
Right.
I felt like that would be a good match for me. So I started doing judo, and that was I wasn't the best shape, but I was I could run a couple miles, stuff like that. It's a different when someone's trying to hold you down and murder you. It's different.
What's amazing too is the difference that people don't necessarily understand versus conditioning versus being in shape. Like how you look versus what you can do is much different, than
Yeah, whether you'll get killed or not
Right.
is one of those. And like for the first 3 months, because Jake's a big guy too, so he was my training partner, but he had been a black belt for like 2 years. So he literally the first 6 months held me down, and I just tapped because it was just think about just being as claustrophobic as possible with pajamas on. I mean, it was awful, and him just like with big paws. Like I have hands, you have hands. He has paws. Like you're in the middle of your transformation to paws. He has paws, so he would just it would just like
only
take
halfway there.
you'll get there, buddy. You'll
One
get
day,
there, bro. You're on your way. So he ended up really helping me kind of go that route. But like I said, I was not in combat sports shape.
Right.
So eventually you go.
It's not to interrupt where you're going, but kind of give us the
you
time
did,
frame.
but
How many
okay.
years ago would this have been? Like you're just starting out. I mean, like how old are you now, and how long ago would this have been?
Well, I'm 33 now.
Okay.
I started at about about 8-9 years. It's almost I always just kind of remember that I have about a decade of combat sports
Right, of
experience.
course.
But judo was probably about eight years ago.
Wow,
something
okay.
along those lines. And jiu-jitsu too, because the coach that was there taught both. So judo's more of like a stand-up throwing art.
Okay.
With some joint locks and pins. So that's its own sport. And then jiu-jitsu is there's different branches
Right,
of
yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
absolutely,
It's
right.
crazy to get into, but our system was a lot like the judo, but we were heavy on emphasis on throws.
Okay.
And so that also took a toll on my body too. So I said I can't lift heavy if I'm getting smashed
Right. Yeah.
3 or 4 times a week.
That would make sense. Yeah.
I
I feel that way.
it's I mean, when we get to your part, you know.
No,
I'll
I
get
can
into
relate
that.
to
No,
that
it's
exact,
it's
like, it's
the
very
high,
true.
this impact of your body takes, your back hurts. It's
Right.
it's not something that's actually a longevity type deal. Like you don't see too many 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds doing
Right.
judo and you know.
See, and that's good that you thought the long term through that though, which is
I did, and
very-
the one thing, like we talked about this earlier. So, I've done a few tournaments. I qualified for, I can't even remember it's not the official and it's not the side official. It was like a third branch of the American team to go over and compete in a German Open.
Oh,
now
wow.
there are lots of different tournaments out there.
Right.
I was going to be their heavy. Jake was actually going to be their light heavy.
That's cool.
It was going to be cool, and then come to find out, it was a good thing I didn't go.
Okay.
So the reason I didn't go was this out of everything we ever talk about, this might be the nerdiest thing. is I have a peanut allergy. Like, how weak is that? Like, I have a peanut allergy. So crossing from the United States, gotcha. Awful transition. Sorry, that was me. Like, we talked about that. Lady T's over there. She's giving me the.
Hey,
giving
we're
me the
working
10
through some
minutes.
things. We're working through some
Gotcha.
things.
This is actually going to be longer. So you were right. You were good. I fucked up. So,
It's the peanuts.
like 12 hours over the ocean and having a reaction because they weren't going to stop anyone from opening anything on the
Right,
on it,
absolutely.
and all that air just circulates through. So to run the risk of having
That's
exposure.
amazing to me that you're so allergic that even the air will get you.
Well,
like, that's,
so peanut allergies 101
No,
because
origins.
I'm basically
Origins.
origins of peanuts. Okay.
This is-
so if you eat an almond or a cashew or something that's in the like a tree nut family,
Mm-hmm.
if you were to crunch that up and go like that and throw it up in the air, it falls down. It doesn't travel.
well, peanuts are legumes, right?
They are.
So,
Way to steal my thunder. But yeah, they
Well,
they are a legume.
Okay.
They're a spore. So when you crush it and put it up, it goes everywhere. It goes in the air. So some people, like, if it touches any kind of opening in their face, nose, ears, mouth,
wow.
or their skin, it then creates a reaction. And if you have a severe enough reaction, it creates what's called anaphylactics. You go into anaphylactic shock. I don't know the other word for it. So I kind of had to step back for a couple different reasons they're not dramatic, but it was just going to tournaments. What do you eat all day? Trail mix, peanut butter bar, just protein. I understand it. Like, you just put, bananas, protein and bread, or peanut butter and bread. I get that.
Right.
So it was never the thing that you can tell competitors or whoever's been on the mat before. It was just too much of a risk.
Right.
Because I ended up, my buddy Jake drove me to the hospital one time. I had a reaction. I had to hit myself with an EpiPen. Still coached a guy. He ended up winning. We went to the hospital, and they go, how much Benadryl did you take? And at that point, I wasn't really going off a lot. So I was like, I don't know, like half a bottle. And they're like, how much is half a bottle? So it was dicey. And they go, you have to really be careful what you're doing.
Wow.
So then, through a couple mutual friends, I got to know, because a couple of us would go down to Oklahoma, because one of the guys we were training with was into MMA. And through a friend, Sean Wheelock, who does a lot of commentating for higher shows, M1 Global, he's been a commentator for Bellator.
Wow.
He got us in touch with this guy, Ty Pilgrim, in Oklahoma. And, 6'5", German, 300 pounds. I mean, just mean. But he liked us judo guys because we'd go down there and try to play it. What's Muay Thai, which is a striking art. There's clinching in it. There's the art of 8 limbs. It's various things you can be hit with. So we had a grasp of the clinching, which is grabbing and then throwing. You cannot. There's different things you can do in the throwing. I'm not going to go into all that, but we understood how to grab someone because we were judo people. So I really fell in love with Muay Thai because, like, judo and jiu-jitsu and various grappling arts, it's chess, and then without a gi, it's more like speed chess. So you have to manipulate someone's body into where you want them to go, to then put them where you want them to be, and then also hide what you're going to do. But in Muay Thai, you're in front of a person doing chess while getting punched, or kicked, or kneed, or elbowed. So that
So Muay Thai is very much a striking sport.
oh yeah, it is, and it's to me it's one of the premier sports that doesn't get any love.
Okay.
But because it's a lot of people say that in the 80s, they came out with PK karate. Like I said, when I was learning and stuff like that, Clark, you get out of here. This is my time. Get out of here. Punch you. Do Muay Thai on you. Well, so so I end up it was the sport never really took off because it's in big gloves. Some people have headgear in it. Some other, it never really took off in the U.S. because for whatever reason it didn't. There wasn't any. I guess there wasn't any money in it. Boxing's been well. That's so yes, exactly. So I think the cage and the any sport, anyone can do it in the MMA or
the weird appeal. I think back then at that time, with UFC would have been it's just a street brawl. It's almost like bum fights in a cage.
Oh yeah, well when they're like 2 men enter, 1 man leaves.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you have Dana White comes in at whatever time period that was, and I feel like that's kind of how, from what little understanding I have of the UFC's rise to where it is now.
Yeah.
It civilized it a little bit, but then you have the ability to do the Muay Thai, but then you can also, with the mixed martial arts, do the whole spectrum. You don't have to focus on the one.
And that's the nice thing about it is, I just don't think people really like the ring, and I think America is a boxing country.
Right.
It's been around for 100 years. It's
Right.
one of those things, and but I like I said, I really love Muay Thai. My coach expanded his affiliates.
Okay.
And I approached him and said, "Hey, do you think I could become an affiliate?" And he goes, yeah, I'd really like for you to open up your own gym and get your own people in. And so I said at that time, I'd split from the gym I was at, and I teamed up with the place I'm currently at, and just started teaching. And I really love teaching. I really find it to be fun to see people get better along those lines.
So, good point here. Where did you get Dancing Bear from?
So how I got my nickname, a really funny guy, Jerry Cerna, who was a brown belt when I was coming up as a blue belt, which is about mid-range. Like, you kind of know some stuff, but you're still getting crushed by higher belts.
Right.
I was getting ready for a striking tournament that was still grappling. Mm-hmm. It was called sports jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
So it was like you have MMA gloves, but you have the gi. So you can throw someone, you can punch them, you can kick them, you can
So what do you
submit 'em.
prefer? Like the smaller, 5-ounce gloves, or the bigger?
I prefer the bigger gloves.
Okay.
I prefer like the 12 to. I've fought and.
Do you frequently get to choose which gloves you use, or
No,
is it just
depends on the
tournament?
sport.
Okay.
It depends on the sport.
Okay.
If there's more grappling involved, you're going to go with the smaller glove. If it's more striking, you get it now. But they do have cage Muay Thai in certain places where they literally, if there's an MMA promotion, they'll put Muay Thai in a cage, dude. And it's the same rules. Like, you get knocked down, you get 8 seconds, you can come back up. You're good to go.
Wow.
Yeah. So my buddy Jerry, he was someone was talking, and he goes, he's the Dancing Bear, because it's always a show whenever he gets on the mat. Because that was my goal, was to entertain, but was also to beat the fuck out of the guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because one thing I always liked at the beginning of judo tournaments was they call your name out. So it was really cool, where they call your name and you'd stand up, and then the other people in your division knew you were fighting. You know what I mean? And there was one time where I wasn't supposed to be fighting. And everything had already settled, like the other people that I knew, because there's a small community that want to do judo in Kansas City, or that we're allowed to do judo in Kansas City within our tournament. So I would stand, and that was the best. I was like, I don't think I'm going to compete. And they go, hey, we have 2 people. So I was like, okay, I'll go in. I was heavy. I think maybe even super heavy. It was the biggest division. And so then they called my name. They stood up, and the 2 other guys were like, what? And I was like, oh, okay, good. I was like, you didn't know I was going to compete. Awesome. Now I'm feeling good. But because that was my goal, was to always put on a show. And my first Muay Thai fight, I took a tournament, and I in all honesty, I should have found a Muay Thai gym. I should have found a trainer to train Muay Thai and not, because it was down in Oklahoma and we couldn't go down there all the time. So my coach put on a tournament, a Muay Thai tournament, which is basically if there's people in your tournament, you have like 2 fights the first day, maybe 1 the next, and then a championship fight. Like it kind of runs over a whole weekend. And so I see this guy, and he looked like a fucking gorilla. Like, I mean, like monster, like both of my arms to his one arm, and he's getting the doctor's giving him a physical and making blood pressure, all that shit. And so I'm there and I go, oh shit, I'm gonna fight this guy. I'm pretty sure this is the guy I'm gonna fight, just when you know something in your head. So I go to my doctor who's giving me the blood test and stuff. He's like, your blood pressure's a little high. Obviously I'm a big guy, probably high, but I think I'm gonna fight that shaved gorilla over there. And he goes, oh, he's like, oh, okay, I can see that. I go, hey, what did that guy weigh? And he was like, oh, like 310. And he was about my height, but he was that monstrous.
That's
like
crazy.
he was so we go, and I'll never forget this. This is the last story I'll tell on this, but this lets you show how. So people, like, you put down your nickname, like your fight name, because they'll call it or whatever. So I put down the Dancing Bear. So I have a few people that are looking at me, and they're not saying anything. They're just kind of looking at me. No big deal, whatever. So then my fight comes, and so I'm fighting this guy. I can't even really remember his name because first thing you do. So I'm coming out, boom, boom, and my hands are here because I'm a dummy. So what this guy does is he jabs, and I go, okay. So I go here, and then he hits me with a hook, boom, right across, right here. So the worst thing that happens is I see stars. The worst, so that sucks, and then I feel my feet go out. Worst part was I hear everyone go, oh, and I'm like that. I'm so embarrassed at this point that I got knocked down in the first set, like the first 10 seconds. I'm knocked down. So it's not over at that point, unless like the ref thinks you are completely fucked up. Like if he thinks he can keep going on, you can go on. You get 2 more of those in 1 round, and then.
Oh wow, okay. But it starts over at 3 each new round.
You basically,
Okay.
basically,
Wow.
like if you keep getting them, they're gonna be like,
get your brain rattled.
You know, like so then one thing too is I'd never been in a cage before, so I pop up, and you know this guy just won the round basically,
right?
Because it's now 10-8. You know, it's not a 10. It was
So do they
getting the
deduct
knockdown
points versus getting points?
Yeah. So I lost points.
Okay.
It basically starts out 10-10, and then whoever wins the round is 10-9. Basically,
take away the life points.
Exactly, dude. You ain't lying. I got my life points taken away, bro. This dude was Exodia, bro. He looked like Exodia, just an upper body. So I get knocked down, and I'm like, whoa. And my corner's like, get up. You're good to go. And I'm like, okay, because I'm like, if anything, I want to get completely knocked out. I want to make it like I didn't quit, the ref didn't stop it. So one thing too is I'd never been in a ring.
That's amazing. I don't know if I've ever had anyone tell me that was their goal. Like, I want to just get.
Oh, go out on you. Like, that's the one thing I always tell my people is like, 2 things. I don't want you to quit on the stool, okay, or back out.
Right.
Do it. Just do it. If it doesn't go your way, okay. Let the ref stop. That's what the ref's there for.
Right.
The ref will not let you die.
Give him some work.
It's on them if they let you die. So I get up, and the ref's like, you good to go? I'm like, yep, let's go get him. So, because I'm concussed at this point, I go, and so the thing was, he basically had 30 seconds of cardio. I'll tell you why he had 30 seconds of cardio. But his power bar's going down, but I'm an idiot. Okay, so I keep going forward. And I start catching him. So I'm coming back. Second round, he hits me with a front kick, basically, but it's a teep. So it's not a kick, it's just a push. So he pushes me back, and I go like this, and my hands come out, and I grab the ropes. But what I do is I'm such a heavy mess that on the turnbuckle, there's a pad, and I rip the pad off completely. Like, I broke it. I broke the pad. Like, these are hard Velcro straps, and I just ripped it. So the best part was, we then got like 2 minutes while they put it back on, because you can't have it uncovered. So we're like just looking at each other, and we're just two big monsters looking at each other. And the problem was they gave me another 10-8. It wasn't. I didn't get hurt, but they saw my hands go that way, and it was the ref's discretion to give me an 8 count. So now I have to knock this guy out.
Right.
He throws a kick, and there's this thing called a quick check where you basically just hit him with your knee.
Okay.
And I hit him like he threw 2 kicks. So what I'm going to tell you happens because he only threw 2 kicks. So I check it, boom, right back. So then I come in and I knee him, and he grabs his gut, and he's like, whoa, and he's going, oh, you hit me low, he hit me low, dude, I hit him right in the bladder. So the ref's like, and the ref saw it, and he was like, nope, it's good, fight out of it. So I start punching him. I only tell you this not to be like, oh, I'm so amazing. I tell you this because then I start hearing, dancing bear, dancing bear,
Damn.
dancing bear, and I'm like, ugh! So I'm just going as hard as I can on this guy, and I'm backing him up, and he's right about to get an 8 count, and then all of a sudden, bell rings.
Damn.
The worst. And I forgot to tell this too, was half the people that like I knew. Heavyweight Muay Thai is awful to watch sometimes. Awful to watch, unless it's me. Unless it's like, unless you've actually practiced it and you know how to fight, and it's not just blah blah blah. Half the people left like that I knew. As I'm standing there in the ring.
Wow, they know you and they're just like, I don't know.
And they left to go get coffee.
Heard that.
And you know what I mean? Like I'm looking, I'm like, oh, and then I get dropped anyways. So then after this, and this guy is.
So this is right from the get-go. They didn't even wait for you to start fighting.
Yeah.
And
So this guy's wrecked, but he won on the cards. So then after it, this guy comes up to me, and I wouldn't even say his name if I knew it, because this is. So he goes, he was an army medic, and he saw my nose bleed. He was like, he automatically kind of went to, oh, this guy's bleeding, like I have to take care of him. Come to find out, this guy was supposed to fight the year before, not in the tournament, but on the guy who reffed it, his card. So I was kind of like, like the ref knew the guy.
Right, yeah.
The 8 count, it irked me a little bit, but to come to find out that on the way there was a snowstorm, and they got in an accident, him, his wife, and his like little baby, and his fucking wife and baby died.
No.
So here I am fighting this guy, and he comes up to me and he goes, hey man, great fight. He was like, dude, I'm in the back throwing up because I hit him right in the gut. Like it just caused everything.
Right.
I mean, I fucking need him so hard. He came up and he goes, the only thing that kept me going was my dead wife and baby. I was up against a dead wife and baby. How am I supposed to win?
People were chanting Dancing Bear Muay Thai. I'm judging everyone who was chanting Dancing Muay Thai.
So I'm like, there's, what can I have done at that? You know, it was my first fight, and my coach came up to me and was like, so, okay, well, quick follow-up to that is, I go out and eat with my corner. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm done. You know, I lost. That's how it is. I come back that night, and they go, dude, you sent your guy to the hospital. He went to the hospital, and he broke his foot. I broke his foot off my check. So because that's why I said it was only 2 kicks that threw. So he broke his foot on my knee. So he was out, but then of course it's heavyweight Muay Thai. No one wants to watch it, so they just let 2 other heavyweights in there, and they ended up fighting. But that was my first fight. But it was the first time I was like, I like being in front of a crowd,
right?
Even if I'm losing, because I want people to be like I mean, you obviously know this. You're a competitor. You've done this where you feel that pop, you know, that crowd's into it.
Right.
You get them going. It's the best because then you have the crowd behind you. And people, if you've never competed in anything and there's a crowd, once you get that crowd behind you, things change. You start getting that extra cardio, that boost, because you want to knock the guy out. So that's basically, that reaffirmed that you can't give yourself a nickname. I can't be like God's messenger or like the angel of death. Like, why? You can't be that.
Right.
You know, it's just not going to happen.
Right.
So that's basically how I got the dancing bear, because I'm just a big guy, but I'm still technical and do have fun.
So they're built in Muay Thai then?
No, see, that's the thing is, it's timing.
Okay.
So, if you have tons of fights, you have lots of experience. So it's a lot of experience.
Okay.
That's why I also think Muay Thai will never really.
There's no measure of success.
Well, they've adopted, but there's no incentive,
right,
other than getting better.
Well, I mean, just not to insult anyone, but for example, you have wrestling veterans that they've been working in Podunk, Kansas for 20 years, and they're not as good as Joe Schmo, who's been doing it for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh well, and that's the thing too. Is like, I don't think you can ever beat experience. I don't think you can ever that will never take away from it. I do think there's levels of experience. I do think like I said, I'm just starting out as a coach. I have a couple friends that I consider training partners and not really students. We train together.
How long have you been a coach in total now?
I mean, like I've probably 4 years, something like that.
Oh wow! So it's been a good.
I taught kids judo classes.
Wow.
I've taught other classes, like I've taught Muay Thai at other gyms.
Okay.
And I decided it was my own time to just build my own product, build my own.
Well, no, that's
my own
fantastic.
group.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have the experience. It's just you learn stuff.
Right.
Like,
And you're always going
but that's
to.
the thing is I still train. I still like training.
Right.
I still like working out with people.
Right.
And because I never want to be that coach that just has a big beer belly and I was like, no, don't do a round kick. Like I want to be able to
Absolutely.
do what I at least
Right.
show, and then just build good people. You know, I like people that work every day and that come in and bust their ass.
Right.
You know what I mean? I push you to your limit, like, God never gives you more than you can handle.
Right.
I'm kind of the same. I'm not God. I mean, I'm a God, not the God.
JT will never give you more than you can handle.
Yeah, but I'll never give you more than you can handle
Savior.
because it's like I want to push you, and that's only how you get better. Now it's not to the point where you're getting hurt, you're gonna get sore. You know, like you know when you work out and everything like that, you're gonna be sore, but that goes away. Soreness, being injured is one thing.
Right. Yeah. It is a much different soreness, and if you can't differentiate the two, then stop.
Yeah, and that like never, and that's when you're hurt. Okay, like find something else to do that doesn't involve that
Right.
body part or whatever
Exactly.
that is. But if you're injured, like you can't do it. Don't. That's not. It's only gonna make it work.
Right,
Worse.
right.
So yeah.
That's only gonna be work.
It's only gonna make it work
only
more.
gonna
Just
make it
pull
work
that
out,
arm
man.
more.
No pain, no gain.
Exactly. So you know, I just really like, and then like you know, I almost said hooking up with you, but connecting,
That's a good
connecting,
time.
yeah, good right there. And then I've
enjoy that
connected
too.
with you, yeah. But just like connecting with you and finding other people that like to train, that aren't kind of hobbyist in it, and you know,
Right.
like in what you guys do, like because like I'm about to. You're about to get the best questions ever asked about
questions.
you. But so I always like training.
Scared,
I
man.
always like, and one thing too, having your own practice is you have to stay on it and not be the guy that gets beat. Like you don't want to get
Well,
crushed
one
by
thing
people.
I was thinking too that's kind of impressive about transitioning to a coach is you have the exact opposite motivation as you would of someone who's just a student or is learning or is coming in for a workout, because you're held accountable in the same way as they're holding you accountable and you're holding them accountable, but it's the complete opposite way. Like
Yeah.
you have the obligation to have them get their money's worth, have them get ready for their fight, have them versus
you sorry to interrupt you, but you
No,
put
yeah.
so much time and effort into making sure, because
Right.
that's one thing too, is when I learned from my coach. Oh, and that was one thing too, like I eventually started training with Rob Kimmons, who's a UFC vet from Kansas City, Kansas.
Wow.
He's now doing the Armored Combat League, where they actually
Okay.
put on suits of armor.
Oh wow.
I mean, dude, I think I'm actually going to start getting into it. It's just I got to find the time between everything.
You got to buy a suit of armor.
But when I went to him, he goes, "You're striking shit,"
Oh man.
and it hurt. But then it was also honest, because he was like,
Right.
"But it doesn't have to." Some people say something and then they go, "It's just negative." But then they
Right.
go, "But we can change that. Let's work on this. Work on this."
Right.
And he was, he's like a 16-time world champ of world organizations, not just little podunk organizations or
Right.
people that say, "Oh, world title." Like, no, they were, really world organizations. And then he let me have an outlet to teach Muay Thai at his gym, while he still had it. And then that gave me a springboard into other gyms and other opportunities. I forgot to give him a huge shout out, but he's just been a really great friend to me,
Right.
and really helped me out because
awesome.
one thing he told me too was, like, if a new person shows up, really put it on them. Like, there's no point in really being nice, like letting them do stuff to you, letting them, because then they come in and go, "Why should I learn from that guy?" Like, if we put it on them, now they go, "Oh, well, this guy knows some stuff."
Well, it's
'Cause
one of
people are
those
dummies.
alpha male things, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Without
and-
being a douche about it, you just have to set that hierarchy so that way they have their respect as they come up.
And that's the thing too, is like you can only be so nice until people are like either take advantage of it or go,
Right.
"What's the point of doing it?"
Right.
And I've kind of learned, like I said, to do a few things with that. And
Right.
like I don't mind training fighters, but I like training regular people, because anyone can do it. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
Right.
That's why I never ask anyone to do something I've never done. You know, like
That's
I'm
a
never
very
like,
good-
you know, I'm never like, hey, back handsprings right now.
What's amazing to me too is, and I think this applies to your Muay Thai and anything that you do, is everything that I've pursued and I've accomplished because I did it and I see the world through my eyes. It's like anybody really can do anything. You just put in the time and effort. That's all it is.
What it is not giving up. They always
Right.
say that a black belt's a white belt that never gave up. That's one of the things. Is my motto, my philosophy is when in hell, keep digging, because it can't get worse. You're already in hell.
Right, yeah.
You know, eventually you're going to break through the other side. Eventually you're going to have some form of breakthrough, some form of, oh man, oh, great moment, and
Right.
it all clicks and it all makes sense. And that's what one thing I try to, because people will never see the success right in front of them, because even if they hit a move they've never hit before, or they've done something they've never done before, they never hit it, they never realize it until you bring it up, or until after the fact, where you're like, oh man, I was able to spar 5 rounds. Well,
Right.
2 weeks before that, it was 2 rounds before getting, tired or just couldn't do anymore, like just physically
Right.
couldn't do it.
Right.
So it's those sort of things that I think I really like. Like, fighters are okay, but you bring up MMA, I'm not gonna down MMA. I think
Right, yeah.
I think it's interesting. The problem is it's mixed martial arts, so you have to learn different martial arts to be able to do the sport, because it's a sport now. It's not a novelty. It's not karate versus
I see what you mean.
jiu-jitsu.
Right.
So
People have their specialties.
The problem
but-
with that is you don't need rank. You don't need anything. If you wanted to take an MMA fight,
It's literally a win-loss record, yeah.
it doesn't you just got to be the weight, and then you can do it. Now, granted, they might put you, the state commissions are going to make sure that you're someone your same skill level and everything. Like, you're not going to go up against a guy with 10 fights. It just doesn't happen.
Right.
But there's no filtering system. Jiu-jitsu, there's ranking systems, so they
Right.
they contact your coach for the Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Wow.
Like, they're gonna be like, hey, are you a reputable? Are you part of the organization? Because it's organizational. But MMA is
Okay.
just like, hey, I like to fight. You can take a fight. That's
All right,
just how
kid.
it goes. And you also have to get the different pieces. Well, if you're going to your jiu-jitsu for one place, you're doing your Muay Thai one place, you're doing your wrestling one place, all these different things, are you really that loyal? You know what? You can be,
Right.
but there are guys that aren't. There are guys
right,
that go, well, I'm just going to take from him, and I'll go in the cage and do it. And it's like, that's not loyalty. To me, that's not even worth a Facebook shout out when they're not. And I don't want to get negative with it, but I'm just saying
But here you are.
well, I am, but there's just levels to it
Right.
where if you want to study an art, find an artist that can do it, and
Right.
then do it.
I
Mixed
see what you
martial
mean.
arts is different than Muay Thai.
Basically, it's just seeing it through.
Yeah, it really is. It's all it is just it's a journey. There's no destination. Basically, we're all going to die. I'm hoping not to.
Right.
I'm hoping to find some kind of robot.
I just want to transfer my
nanobots,
consciousness into
Ghost in the Shell style. I could do that.
I haven't seen Ghost in the Shell
Robot
actually,
body.
but
That's fucking geek talk. You need to. Ghost in the Shell's a classic. Anyways, so let me bring that up. We both like Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
And I try to tell people. I've also been told we need to start a Twitch channel, so that might be coming pretty soon.
Twitch.
Twitch. But we both I really like anime and different cartoons where the person builds a character, like you build a character up. Like you started zero.
Right.
You started getting murked.
I think Dragon Ball is kind of the good example of that.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much character development, a lot of villains become heroes, and
What it is and Ronda Rousey actually said it was, you only get better by training. You never see like characters like you even look at Frieza.
oh right, you even just,
know what I mean?
Just at the strictly power level aspect
they,
of it.
They
like,
train in time chambers. They put
Right.
weighted clothes on. They do all this stuff. And I try to tell people that are nerds, because a lot of martial artists can be nerds. A lot of nerds need to train it too. A lot of people that
Right.
may not think they can do it need to train it. And I tell them, I'm like, have you ever started a video game and you're level 1? When you come in the gym at anything, you're level 1. You don't know anything.
Absolutely.
You might even be a previously saved character, and you might be a level 2. Well, now you're getting murked by guys that it just happens. But then eventually you start leveling up, and I just say it's all about leveling up and having the ability to get better and train, because it's all about the training to me. It's all about time in. Time in makes everything better, as far as I'm concerned.
That is one thing I struggle with too, is enjoying the process versus the outcome. Like that's always the stereotypical thing you hear people say, like enjoy the process, you know.
Yeah.
It's the process
Yeah,
over
it's the journey.
You know, yeah, I hate that. The journey.
I just want it now.
I absolutely do.
Now.
I'm 27. I feel like
But
my whole
also
life
too,
is
like, but you know, and you're probably doing a lot of weights and a lot of stuff that doesn't bounce back at you, that doesn't react to you. Like it's just heavy iron.
As you mean,
you
yeah,
show
yeah.
up and it's just I
Yeah.
lift, I go, and
I
that
get it.
weight. The problem is that weight's still there. You no matter what, like Arnold says, you can never conquer that weight. You just show
Absolutely
up the
not.
next
Right.
day, and it just keeps going and you just keep going.
It's the ultimate. There is no end result.
It is,
like,
if anything, it's the definition of insanity, where you keep doing the same thing over and over again,
and
but
over
you just
again.
put more weight on it.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, where you're like, oh, and then you can fail at it.
right.
You can fail at it, where
Yeah.
or you have that day where you lift and it doesn't do anything.
There's days where
I hate those. I used to take pre-workout, get pumped by listening to Korn or whatever, just, you know, just like metal music, and I'm like, let's do this, and I get in there and just try it, and I just
See,
couldn't
I'm
do
not
it.
that intense guy. Mine's all about a
course
focus.
not.
I don't like need the hype up
Because you're not
music
an
or the
animal, bro.
I go in and
listening
mine's
to probably classical music.
mine's
or
like
some bullshit.
focus. You know, it's like mine is I know what needs to get done and I'm gonna go do it. It's more of a grit. It's not a showy metally.
A grind. You're grinding
It's not
it
toxic
out. Yeah.
masculinity. you know?
Whoa!
It's not-
Are you putting that on me, bro?
Not at all.
I'm a
Absolutely not.
racist and now toxic masculinity.
I'm just letting our audience know I'm not that guy.
I think everyone knows that. I think everyone knows
don't-
you're.
I feel like that's a good thing,
sensitive,
man.
a nice sensitive Sally that goes in there and lifts your little dumbbells. And
No, they're big
doesn't
dumbbells.
bother-
I just do it.
You're gonna
I
lift them.
just don't have to say ooh while I'm doing it. You know.
Well, you have. If you're not loud, then people don't know you're doing it.
Right.
You
No,
know?
you're right.
Um,
And neither do my biceps.
So yeah, no, that's basically where I got into Muay Thai and martial arts, and kind of took that path instead of any other. I did one strongman competition. It was like,
Now, was that closer to the beginning of the Muay Thai then? Like,
That was before Muay Thai.
totally.
I showed up and I wasn't even going to do it.
Wow.
But there was there's only like so many big guys, and there was like 3, and they were like, well, we'd really like to have you, and I was like, well, okay.
Like,
We
have
did
me, have me.
Well, yeah,
or-
they wanted me. We did like Iron Cross, Prowler sleds, half of our weight right up the hill,
So
down
it wasn't
the hills, many
like
times
it was
as
like
you
a
can go.
performance.
It was more. It was
competition.
more of
wasn't
like, yeah, it was more
just
endurance.
Pick this up, squat this, bench this.
I think I hit my. That's when I hit my personal deadlift of like 405. I think was what I
awesome.
hit. I didn't really go any heavier than that, but that was
Right.
the best part. Was I didn't even eat. Like I said, I was just going there to just talk to my friends and just encourage them, because I didn't even compete. So I didn't do it on any food. I didn't do it on. It was kind of a crazy day, but it was fun. It was a
Wow.
good time, but. It was different to do
Right.
that. So like I've done a lot. I've done a lot of different things in the fitness world, and my goal now is to bring probably fitness to a lot of people at just an affordable rate. I'm not trying to
right.
push my
absolutely.
gym. I'm just
Right.
saying, like, go find a gym. Like, just go find it if you need a spot.
Right, because we're gonna make all of our money off these videos. So
Well, and the reason I want to do this is you're personable, I'm personable. We can have fun.
like
We can
us.
talk a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
what are we at, T?
43.
Yeah, that's right. I'm about to go
There
an
we go.
hour.
Oh.
No, but like I said, I'll put it up. But like, if you have a bit, like, I really do want this to grow, where we can have businesses that come on, that
Right.
sponsors, that that not just fitness, but anyone is free to come on and do
the
it.
beauty of the world we live in today is that we can create that platform for people to have, and we're utilizing technologies that's available to us, and we're giving this opportunity to people who don't have the drive to create it on their own with a buddy who will do it.
And like you said, it goes back to effort. It goes back to time, to find
Right.
the time to do it. To really
a lot
get
of
through
times
it.
it's not even finding the time. I hate when people say find the time. It's deciding to make the time that you are.
So it's more making the time than finding the time.
Well, not even
'Cause the
making the
time's
time.
there.
It's the time is there. Like, you're not creating anything new. You're not pulling anything out of anywhere. Like, the time is there. We're just not watching Desperate Housewives right now. We're here creating Desperate Housewives.
Hey, T, do you watch that?
I mean, I used
Is that even on TV?
Oh,
anymore?
don't say used to, because
that-
we need trash TV with T. You and me. You find a
No.
trash show, we're gonna watch it.
Temptation Island.
Oh God.
You know what? What Bachelor Island? There's one my wife was watching. It was Bachelor Island, or where they like take all the rejects, the crazy people, and they put them on. And they all hook up.
And here we are.
You know what I mean? And I didn't get my invite, but but yeah, no. I just really have fun doing this,
Right.
man. I'm so glad you get to do it. You're doing it. You fucking
there
do
gonna
it.
be
You
one?
fucking do it. Do one.
It was
We're not
almost-
in it. We're not. That hurts. T, that hurts.
Wow.
That's mean.
Okay.
I'm
mean.
Sticking to it.
I'm disappointed that
Wow.
I
I
wanted
almost
to.
had him. Almost had him.
Fist
I
bump?
wanted
What about
to.
a fist bump? No?
We tried that
What about
already.
side hug? Can I get a side hug? Come here, buddy. So yeah, no, that's how I got started, and I really like talking comics. I really,
But mostly him. He likes talking.
I like
to him,
talking
so.
about me. We've almost been doing an hour of it, and I think it's pretty good. I think everyone's entertained. I'm pretty happy with it.
If you've watched now,
I mean, there isn't much to this guy. He walks in all zen to the gym,
I didn't say
Puts
zen.
his-
I said focus.
lays out his weights, focuses on them, and then lifts them.
They just pick themselves, you know.
So yeah, no, that's basically how I got into it.
No, I love it.
And I'm gonna hopefully continue to do it. And got a guy fighting Friday for the blue corner 155 amateur belt. So we were getting him ready, and he's been kicking and beating the shit out of me. So it's that thing where I'm there for the people that are there for me,
Right.
and that's the way I'll be.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
I dig it.
So I appreciate you asking me. And now,
Yeah.
part 2. Then we cut that part, but I just want to do part 2.
Who's that? Who's is that?
Testing.
I'm John,
I'm also John.
and we're gonna talk about stuff.
Epic.
I'm John,
I'm also John.
and we're
gonna
talk about us.
Awful. What? You didn't say what we were supposed to say.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Can we do it again?
Are we doing it again?
Cut.